Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Oh. Ah, a zombie. Spooky zombie came out and ate our faces, and then we shot it multiple times until it slowly fell on the floor.
Yes.
Okay, so welcome to Schizophrenia Cast. Schizophrenia watches. Watchophrenia Cast. We're watching. Wait, what did we just watch? Just watched Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. And it's me, Danny DeVito, and Tony.
Wait a minute. I'm not loading.
Uh,
No.
yeah.
Original game. Normal. Oh, yeah. It sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll just start
Um.
from the beginning.
Yeah. What is it like? I guess it just kind of like starts off as like bad cosplay. It's like bad cosplay, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why people. I don't know. Do you think that maybe it would have been better if it had a bigger budget, or do you think that maybe this is why they didn't
Um,
go with the
I think it would
actual
have.
story?
I think it would have been better if they decided to actually make a good movie.
Wait, do you think they did it bad on purpose?
No, no, no. They didn't do it bad on purpose. I think they just didn't care enough to make a good movie. Whew.
Just like a cash grab. Let's see. Let's let the dumb audience or whatever that'll buy anything that says Resident Evil on it.
Yeah. Basically.
Um,
Basically.
Yeesh. Well, that backfired in their face, as we'll talk about later. Okay, so I guess we should start recapping the movie.
Yeah. It starts with the orphanage, I guess. We got to start with the orphanage scene. Here, let's see if I can actually get this shotgun. Shit.
Yeah, unlike this one, it starts off with Chris and Claire in a orphanage as kids, and they're in a bed, and
No, I forgot the turn
they
button. Damn
see.
it.
God damn it.
Uh huh.
They're like Claire like sees a monster in like the darkness as they're sleeping as they're laying in a bed together, because I guess there's not, well, I guess like she's on the top bunk of a bunk bed, and then she's like uh Chris, there's a monster out there, and then Chris is like, shut up, and then
Shut up.
he, t- he tells
Shut
her to go to
up.
bed.
She's just like shit.
There's not one there, and she's like, there's a fucking monster over there, and then like and what is it called, and then she like, I guess like like a couple minutes passed or something like that, and then she follows the monster, or starts walking around the orphanage, and then she goes to like a playroom where the monster is at, and the monster
Damn it.
becomes friends with her, and then and she like and then she goes back to bed, and then the monster attacks her, and then she wakes up because it's a dream.
Yeah, it was all a dream. She used to read Word Up magazine.
Um, Barry and Rebecca up in a limousine. Um,
Yeah, they really were, because they weren't in this movie.
but yeah, they weren't. I guess they had to cut some characters out, because like the end is like, we're gonna say later, but the end seems kind of rushed. At least it seemed like that to me. Um, Literally super rushed. Oh yeah. Should we talk about like the people that made the movie before we go any further? It was Constantine Films that made a bunch of like decent movies, and
Shit.
David Films.
David
That,
Davis Films? It was really weird. It's these two production companies. Constantine Films makes a lot of really good films, like you were saying before, but Davis is like a fairly new company. They did 3 of the Resident Evil movies, and yeah, they did 3 of the Resident Evil
last
movies,
couple of ones, right?
and this Resident Evil movie, and that was it. Yeah, no, the last 3, I think. So like Afterlife and all the other ones that all the forgettable. I forget their names. Ooh boy, I'm gonna have to switch the buttons on this.
It's kind of funny because it's like a departure from the original ones, but now they're making ones that are more closer to the actual games.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of weird. And it's funny too because I'm sure like the studio executives would be all like, "Well, the people they said they wanted one that's closer to the games, and then they didn't buy this one, so I guess it sucks." Um. So, and we'll never do that again. Uh, Even though like there's like little things here and there that probably turn people off to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So let's see. My notes here. Uh. Yeah, the beginning music to the orphanage scene is like super lame. It's like la 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 la.
Oh, a
Like it's
blonde
supposed to be
zombie.
like
That's interesting.
there's a what?
Blonde zombie. No, I'm also playing on the background of this thing. I'm also playing Resident Evil 2 for the GameCube. Probably the only Resident Evil 2 I've never played. I've played pretty much all of them, even the Dreamcast one. But I've never played the GameCube one, so I just wanted to see what's different on this one. I just wanted to say that blonde zombie on the bus, which is interesting.
Is this isn't the one isn't wasn't the Dreamcast one the one where it was like House of the Dead but like with Resident Evil?
No, that was on Wii.
Oh, okay. Um yeah, so like the music sounded like shit.
Oh, there's no quick turn on this. That's not good.
You know what the music sounded like at the beginning of the orphanage scene? It was like that that episode of like Courage the Cowardly Dog where he's being chased by the hamster
Yeah, it was like
and
this
where the like
weird child singing song or whatever. It was very strange. I don't know why they decided to do that.
like
Oh,
the
fuck off.
chorus what is it called? The chorus of like the kids singing. The hamster in the Courage the Cowardly Dog thing. Like the hamster falls off of like a waterfall or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it sounds like. Um, and one other thing I forgot to mention was that the nurse watches Golden Girls at the very beginning. So shout outs to Betty White's ghost. Shout outs to Betty White's rotting corpse.
Still getting, oh boy, still getting
they
money
should have
even in
affected
the
her.
afterlife.
I think so. Yeah. They should have stabbed her with the G virus, and then it would have been like the tyrant Betty White. I know you got a shotgun at the beginning of this game.
You can get it when you pick it up off of Kendo, the Kendo gun shop owner. I'm guessing his name is Kendo. He you can pick it up off of his body if you're quick enough. This game for some dumb reason doesn't have quick turn, so I wasn't able to run away from the zombies as fast as I can. I didn't know that going into this.
Makes it more scary. Makes it better.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna have to learn like a brand new. I don't know what's. There's different things in this version. Let's see if what's his name is down here. He's not. Probably because I picked up the shotgun at the beginning of the thing, but that's fine. I don't need the other costumes. Go on with the review.
Or was I? Yeah. So then okay. So Claire meets Lisa Trevor inside of the thing, but it turns out it's a dream, and she wakes up inside of a truck with the truck driver. And the truck driver's like eating a fat ass sandwich or whatever, and he's like a big
Fat ass.
fat piece. Yeah, he's a big fat piece of shit. And then like and then he like says like something about her like screaming in her sleep, and then he wouldn't have picked her up if he knew she was gonna be screaming or something like that. And then he was like,
Yeah, he's just being a general like fat asshole. You know what I mean?
did he say something about like her screaming giving him like a stomach ache or something like that?
I think so. I didn't really pay attention that hard.
Like that's your what is it called? Might be your diet there, guy. You might. It's not like your screaming is giving me diarrhea. It's like no, it's the Wendy's burger that you're munching on there. But did you say that the original script was supposed to be Resident Evil 7, the video game?
Yeah. So the original script for this movie was supposed to. I guess we should have got the facts all aside before we started talking about the movie. But yeah, the original script of this movie was supposed to be Resident Evil 7, and the original person that was supposed to direct it was the James Wan from Mortal Kombat.
New Mortal Kombat.
The new Mortal Kombat movie, the crappy one. He was supposed to direct
Yeah.
it. He actually dropped out last minute, and they had to get Johan something or other. I guess I'll read it while this cutscene plays, because I believe this is where you meet Marvin. If the game didn't freaking freeze, I don't think it did.
Johan Roberts.
I should have played the PC version. Oh, interesting. That totally skipped this cutscene for some reason. Interesting. But yeah, Johan
Leon
Roberts,
looks like he's angry.
who's famous for I don't know what, because I don't have it pulled up.
It's kind of funny too because if the original, if James Wan or whatever, had directed it, it would have been exactly like the other director of the original movies because he also directed a Mortal Kombat movie and the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
So James Wan would have been following in his footsteps, which
Yeah.
is pretty
So
interesting.
Johannes Roberts is famous for Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, 47 Meters Down, The Strangers 2, The Other Side of the Door, Roadkill, When Evil Calls, Force of the Damned, Dark Hunters, Hellbreeder, and Sanitarium 2001. So he makes a lot of low budget horror movies, which this movie definitely was. I mean, the dots are connected on that one because that really did feel like a low budget horror movie.
Felt like kind of like it did feel. Speaking of House of the Dead, it felt like the House of the Dead that Yule Bull made, which is like not very good. It's not a good thing to be compared to in most people's eyes.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's kind of funny in retrospect. We had so many good movies that we could say that Yule Bowl is like the worst thing ever. And then we live in modern times where they're spending $35 million on Yule Bowl movies and then pumping it out like people are supposed to like them.
Well, that's all the pyramid scheme, I think. But,
well, it's worse than a cash grab because they didn't even try to make it good. They just had a bunch of fan service in it, and they thought that a fan service would make a movie, which was weird.
I mean, maybe they should have. I mean, they tried to like build a little bit on the story by giving Claire and Chris like a backstory with the orphanage and stuff like that, but I don't know. It just came out kind of weird, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you're not a fan of the movies, it would be just kind of like a boring horror movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so let's get back to the my notes here.
The oh boy.
It's the Inside Out brain monster. I can't believe it happens this early in the game too, because it happens later on in the movie.
Oh shoot! I thought they were
then,
okay. Well, I guess not. Oh no! Pick it up!
Um.
All right. Yeah. I'm surprised it attacked me. I thought it was supposed to go with sound, but apparently not.
Oh, so after the what is it called? After the truck driver is like talking to Claire, right?
Yeah.
About his sandwich or something. That's when they hit the lady walking in the or the zombie that's like walking across the street. And then what is it called? And then they like complain for a little bit. I don't know. Did he try to grab her thigh at that point?
Yeah, he put his hand on her thigh just to make him more creepy, which I thought wasn't necessary because they didn't do that in the game. You know what I mean?
Just some random guy like just driving his truck. I mean, he doesn't have to be unlikable to die, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh boy, did I not get healed from that? I guess not.
If anything, you just don't have to give him a personality like everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Then and so they get out of the car and what is it called? And like Claire's all like, "Oh, you fucking ran her over," and then he's like, he's freaking out or whatever, and then and then the oh yeah, and he has a dog. He's got a dog that that he drives with, which is a Doberman Pinscher like in the games.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog what's it called? They're looking at the body, then they turn away for a second, and then the body's gone, and it just left a little puddle of blood, and then the dog jumps out of the trailer and then licks up the blood for some reason. Um, and that's when you know that the dog is going to be infected later. So they get back in the truck and start heading into Raccoon City. Cut to a diner where the Stars team we later found out is or we later find out is hanging out. So it's uh Jill Valentine played by some black lady. Um, Wesker played by a ginger Canadian. Who else was it? I don't think it was Barry because Barry's not in this movie.
No, Barry's definitely not in this movie. Like we said at the beginning, Rebecca and Barry are not in this movie, even though being like really big characters in the games. They were sidekicks, but they were important to the story. You know, Barry got Jill out of a lot of situations. Was there to save her, and Rebecca like saved Chris's life. I think halfway through it. You know.
Yeah. It's funny. I kind of forgot that they
Mm,
were in the.
nah, I'm not doing the
I
knife.
forgot that
I'm not doing the knife.
that they were in the first game, which is this movie like cuts out um the cuts out a lot of characters, or maybe like another two characters I think, from it. But
I don't need the save.
yeah. So Wesker's did I say Wesker's there? Yeah, that other Stars member, and then Leon, who's apparently a dumbass and can't do anything right.
Yeah,
Um,
at the beginning, after the truck scene, I think they wake up. Leon wakes up uh late and then has like a beer. I guess he's hungover. They don't really explain if he was partying or doing any beer drinking or anything like that. They kind of just show him like wake up and then take a swig of a beer, which for me usually means I got drunk last night and I get a little bit drunk to function today. You know?
who knows why he's doing that too. Maybe he's just like I don't think I don't think he was like haphazardly like maybe he was just trying to hang out with people or something like that. I don't like hang out with the Stars guys and they're all cool and can like don't get are immune to hangovers and whatnot. Oh, one thing we forgot to mention was that obviously the diner's in Raccoon City, and Raccoon City here is portrayed as a ghost town that Umbrella left like is like beginning to leave. Like I
Yeah.
think the pharmaceutical company left, right? And
Yeah,
then
they're leaving and they're kind of like leaving it. They're like, oh, Midwestern town with the industry leaving, which I know they kind of want people to identify with. I'll just leave that there for now. But they want like people to identify with that because a lot of industry is leaving the Midwest. It's coming back in the form of technology, but all the mining and all that stuff is like leaving. Um, but I don't know. I just thought that was weird because in the game, like, you can.
big city, right?
It's a big city, especially in
It's
two.
like
In one, you're in the mansion, so you can't really see it. So in the first one, they say small Midwestern town in the title and everything. Uh, but in the second one, they kind of, you know, don't really stick with it because the town is all big and elaborate. They have like buses and diners and
well,
I mean city, restaurants and clothing stores and all this fucking big city shit.
yeah, I mean, most of this game. Well, I mean, we can see it here, but like most of this game kind of takes place in the. You only see it at the very beginning, um, but most of this game takes place in the police station, right? So, and it's a town. It's like a place that's big enough to have a SWAT team, right?
Yeah.
And like in number three takes place in Raccoon City too, right?
Yes. Yeah, and they have two-story buildings and apartments and stuff in that.
Yeah, so it's like, and
And they
they have
keep
like
it
giant movie theaters,
mhm.
like giant statues dedicated to. Well, at least in the remake, they have a giant statue that's dedicated to like a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Um. So yeah, it's just kind of weird to see it as like this kind of like hokey,
Oh shit!
um like
Damn it, I
small
forgot about that.
like place that's not, and it doesn't look like there's many houses that are packed in together either. There's like big strips of land in between everything.
Hmm.
Um like unused land.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the
So
Midwest, even though it's filmed in Toronto, Canada. It really
really?
does look like the Midwest, where it's like a house, like a small amount of houses, and then like a couple of shops, and then railroad tracks, and then nothing.
It
What the
really
hell
looks
was
like
that?
it really looks like towns that they would pass through in on The Walking Dead. That's the best way of describing it. I think. Um yeah, so it's not like when I saw it the first time I was like this doesn't look like what I yeah, this doesn't look like number 3 at all. Um oh, okay, going back to the diner that's in Raccoon City. Uh
Ugh, the
they
IOA
mentioned
Mr. Ruff.
they mentioned like the Jill sandwich. Like Wesker's like asking like eating a sandwich or something, and then like Jill, they're like having a back and forth about God knows what, and then like Jill like takes the sandwich out of his hand, and he's all like, "See, this is a Jill sandwich now." Um, and
God.
she's like, yeah, and it's like supposed to be charming and stuff like that, but she's like 40, and everybody else is like 40 except for Leon. Like Leon's the only young person, and everybody's like old.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
don't know how
Chris was pretty young. Chris looked pretty young.
Chris looked like how he was supposed to look, but everybody else just kind of looked like. I mean, obviously Jill is the biggest fucking jarring character like decision
In a lot of
because she
ways,
doesn't really
not just the they turned into like a
race.
black person, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
also who looks like Brittany Venti, but also
No, don't bring her up.
yes,
So, go ahead.
bringing her up. But she looks like her, and then but also she's like really old. She's like in her 40s. She's a side character. She's like a she went from being a main character to just being a side character.
Actually, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're
And
right.
she they said that she is like in love with Wesker. Later on, they infer it. This is in the same diner scene, so I'm not skipping ahead or anything. Later on in the diner scene, as everyone is leaving, she
The
tells Leon that, right?
waitress, yeah, the waitress at the diner. I guess the waitress slash owner, because I don't see an owner there. Like tells Leon, yeah, keep as he's looking
I wonder if I
at
can open
Jill
this.
leaving. They'll get a call
No, it's
from the
locked. Okay.
I'll get a call from the chief to like show up at the station or whatever, and uh, is they're on call all the time. That could be an explanation for why Leon is so tired because they're just on call all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they get a call from the station to show up. And as they're leaving, Leon is like leaning down on his on the like what's it called bar booth thing, and then the waitress that's standing there like looks at I guess she knows everybody also because they go there all the time. She notices Leon like checking out Jill as Jill's like apologizing to him for um for them like busting his chops in the scene before this,
Mm-hmm.
and and the waitress is all like, yeah, don't get your
Don't.
hopes up, kid. She only has eyes for the big dog or something like that.
Yeah, big dog. She says big guy, but big
Yeah.
dog is funnier.
Yeah, I know. What is it called? He's like, yeah, he's so cool. He probably has cool sunglasses or something. Um, he's gonna have a trench coat and look like Postal. What is it called? Oh
Oh
yeah, and then
damn.
that's when that's when like Leon sees like it's like, hey, you got something in your eye, and she's like, oh, I'm just bleeding from my eye, and it's all like, is that? It's she's like, it's probably normal or something. So
Yeah,
like, what
she's
is
like,
that like an
yeah, it's
S?
probably nothing. I wouldn't worry about it. It's like you're okay.
I live with HPV, so don't worry about it. Um,
Jesus.
so then, so then, so then they take off.
No.
What is
Stupid
it
camera
called?
angles.
Uh,
Fuck off.
so we cut to so they take off, and then we cut to Claire like showing up at what is it called? Showing up at Chris's house. Or we find out it's Chris's house. It kind of looks like a trailer home. to me. But she like just kind of walks in the middle of the night, and she looks through. It's funny because she like is looking through all of his stuff as she's walking in, like trying like just being like like what has become of my brother, um, and like seeing it's just a normal house, and then she sees like a helmet that has like a raccoon on the side of it. Um, they later on they make mention that the helmet is like for the city's uh football team, the Bandits or whatever. And so I mean, I guess there was some thought that was put into this because they make mention of it later. So that's just something to think about. Um, there's like in the scenery, there's like a shitty picture of there's a shitty picture of Chris with like Birkin, right,
With Birkin,
Tony?
yeah, and it's
Yeah, and it looks
really photoshopped. Shit.
yeah, it looks really bad. You think they couldn't get a fucking picture to like couldn't get a picture of just get them to like be in the room together so they could take a picture? Like it would have took but like what 5 minutes just get wardrobe to put him in a nice suit and then get Birkin the dude who plays Birkin to like take a picture next to him. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention also.
Shoot, I don't
Uh
remember the code. Mm-hmm.
um do they meet Birkin at the very beginning when Claire's having her dream? I don't think they do. Um So, oh wait, yeah, I think I believe they do because they're orphans. I think Claire gets adopted by somebody else, right? And then Chris is left at the orphanage.
Yeah,
Wrong about that?
yeah. They
Yeah, and
say
so
she's
that's
adopted by someone, but she doesn't say. They don't say who.
right. Um, later on, what is it called? As she's we kept while she's in Chris's house, she um, and she sees the shitty like Universal Studios picture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's like her and Chris like reunite or like they see each other for the first time. He comes down the stairs leading up to his bedroom and then sees her. And he looks pretty good. I mean, he kind of actually looks like Chris Redfield, the actor that they got to play.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then they like there it's not like a really good um reunion because he's all like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "I don't I got something to do over here." And then he's like, "I haven't seen you in like years." And she's like, "Well," he's like, "Well, how'd you get here?" He's like, "Oh, I hitchhiked." And he's all like, "Hitchhiking is illegal." So I guess it's like to establish that he's like a Boy Scout or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Which I didn't know hitchhiking was illegal. I just thought it was like a stupid idea. Like,
Yeah, they had that whole
I get
episode of the Cosby Kids or whatever where the chick was hitchhiking, and then
Cosby.
they talk about hitchhiking in there, and then they talk about all the things that can go wrong. In the episode, the girl that was hitchhiking, um, like ended up in the hospital, and I was like, oh, this is getting dark. And then they're like, oh, okay. Well, she got into a car accident because the guy who she was hitchhiking with got into a car accident. It's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's probably why you shouldn't hitchhike because you don't know how the person drives. And then at the end, Bill Cosby comes out and he's like, yeah, you shouldn't hitchhike because you can get that situation could happen to you, or you can get murdered, or you can get raped.
Or worse, you can get into a car with me. I
Yeah,
guess that would be the second
exactly.
option, wouldn't it?
And it was
That motherfucker's.
it was crazy to
Never mind.
hear him. It was crazy to hear him say that. But yeah, anyways, go ahead. I just remembered that scene from the Cosby Show.
He's a good man. What was I gonna say? So then, what is it called? Yeah, I was thinking that like it's such a bad crime that it's punishable by death in some cases because the dude kills you.
Yeah.
Um, so then, oh yeah, here's one. For some reason, Claire says something about AOL. Fucking AOL chat rooms or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're really trying to establish. I forgot to mention this in the very beginning of the She gets in the truck at the very beginning. They show a big like They establish that it's 1998. Uh, and in the credit scene, so they're really pushing like it's the 90s
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Right.
But they make a what is it called? But as we found out, they make a bunch of mistakes with the some of the props in the movie. about with about things that don't exist in the 90s, you remember the gun, Tony?
Yeah, the Beretta that Chris has in there, not Chris, Wesker has in there, is a model of Beretta that came out in 2006. So, in the original game, they actually, when they actually cared, they gave him a model that already had existed in the 90s.
Yeah, so that's just one thing that that's one of those things. It's weird because like certain care was put into certain things like in the football helmet, and then there's like stuff like that also. So kind of weird. I guess I must have thought, wouldn't this be cool to like build the what Raccoon City is, but not like make it look good? Um, so then what is it called? So then Claire what is it called? Claire talks about her time in like college or something like that, and I guess Claire was an activist, right, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she plays a VHS tape for Chris, where it's like a reporter talking about like all the evils that um that the Umbrella Corporation has been doing inside the town, and that I don't know if the reporter made mention that he's gonna go to Raccoon City. I might have missed that, but but that comes up later. And uh, so so that scene ends with them getting a little bit of exposition about or ba- about Raccoon City, and then we go to Birkin's house. So it cuts to Birkin's house, and Birkin is like asleep. He wakes up next to his wife, hearing his like daughter screaming or something,
Mm-hmm.
and runs to her room. Birkin is a older gentleman. I forget what the name of the actor is.
I don't remember him. I remember him from a bunch of different movies, but I don't remember what his name was.
He's like I think he's like a blonde guy or something like that.
Yeah, he's always a bad guy and everything.
Yeah, so I guess like this would be a perfect movie. Well, not a perfect movie for him because it was like terrible. But he wakes up and he heads down to like see his daughter, who like it's posted all over the room that her name is Shelly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bill McDonough.
Wait, I don't know if her name is
Bill
Shelly. Wait, what's her name again? Oh shit,
Sherry, my bad.
Sherry.
Yeah. So Neil McDonough, that's his name. Um So then, and he's kind of old for this role too. So like when we were watching the movie, you
Yeah,
were like,
cause him and Wesker are supposed to be around the same age, and
really?
they're not. He's definitely
Wesker's
way
supposed to be
older. Hmm?
Himself is supposed to be a scientist too, right?
Yeah, but they totally changed Wesker's character in this. Go ahead and well, we'll just keep
Um,
going because I think I have a sneaking suspicion they wanted to make it make it a surprise that he wasn't a bad guy. You know what I mean? Because he does in the scene. Did we get to the scene where they're all in the police headquarters
Not yet.
and
We're
the
at
chief comes out? Okay, so we're not on
what's
that part
coming up
yet.
next.
All right,
Coming up next. Um, so then
I haven't found one.
so then like so then like so Birkin like comforts his daughter or whatever and says like, I'm not gonna let anybody hurt you or something. She had a dream about something foreshadowing like events that happen later. Um, there was a what is it called? There was like people walking with the freaking. I don't remember them being able to like walk towards you when they don't have any legs.
Yeah, well,
Is
this
that
is the
something new?
GameCube version, baby.
She saw that. She saw that and started freaking out.
I would too.
And then what is it called? Then he's like,
I know.
Birkin's like, I'll never let anything happen to you. I love you. And then his wife is all like, I look like I look like Steve Perry.
Yeah, she doesn't get a lot of lines. She's mostly like a concerned wife, and she looks like Steve Perry. Oh God, I don't
Yeah,
know
they
if I can do this dodge. No, I'm not good
probably could
enough
have
to do
had
this
her
kind of
not be in
dodge.
the movie, and it would have been fine. They probably could have added Rebecca for all the lines that she had. Um,
Oh, I
and
did it!
so
Wow.
um, so that's when they hear an alarm go
Oh well.
off, like a. I guess the town is retrofitted
Shit.
with a or like is outfitted with like a
Ah,
giant
fuck.
like alarm that they would play for atomic bombs or something, or like
Yeah,
you
like
know during the Red Scare times when they had like I don't know if they ever had alarms for like nuclear war threats or something like that. But that's what like sounds in the
like a
town.
siren.
Everybody hears a siren, yeah. And so like that's when Birkin's all well, Birkin's obviously a scientist for Umbrella, so he knows exactly what that means. So he's like, we gotta get the hell out of here. Um, so what is it called? So we cut back to what is it called? Claire back in the house uh with Chris, and then Chris is like they're still talking for a bit, and then Chris gets the call to go back to the police station, and so Chris is like, don't touch anything or steal anything. I'm gonna go to the police station because there's something really important because he's obviously part of Star's team, and Claire's like walking around the house or whatever, and she sees like the next door neighbor is like balding or like completely bald, and she's a lady, and she sees her son in the window who's also balding, and so clearly they're like fucking infected with HPV, and what is it called? And she sees that she writes on the window itchy tasty, so that's a callback to the video games. Um, in the first video game, or is that the second one, Tony?
Uh, the itchy tasty.
Yeah, that's like in a diary in the first game, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's in a
Yeah.
diary
So
in a little room where they some one of the employees from the Umbrella Lab that was living at the Spencer Mansion wrote in his diary about transforming into a zombie, and that was one of the lines from it.
oh yeah, and like I remember that. It's kind of cool because it's like he's talking about it's completely coherent like the first couple of pages that you read, right?
Hmm.
And then like the more you read it, the more like deteriorated his like speech becomes or his writing, and until he starts like just writing itchy tasty, and then there's like a bloody handprint on the next page, right? Or
Hmm.
my so that's actually a really cool it's actually a really cool scene in the video game, but here it's just kind of used as like a reference callback, which like I think most of this movie is just fan service, like you said, and callbacks to the game and like shit not used well from the games. Like all
Hmm.
the cool scenes that you read and like all the atmospheric stuff is like is just kind of shittily done in this. Um and so like Claire like was like sees like the mom and the son in the sees the writing on the wall, I mean writing on the window, and she's like, what the fuck? And then she goes back into the house. I think she collects her stuff, and she's like, well, I gotta get the hell out of here because there's a siren blaring. And so she tries to uh um she goes back into the house, and then she's what is it called? I forget what she does. She hears the siren, and then somehow the kid gets into the house, like hides underneath the table of the house. Like she hears the kid like in a house like running away, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing inside my house?" Um, um, and like the kid is like, I'm not the one who should be scared. You should be scared." And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then the mom like comes out from behind her and attacks her, like starts yelling "itchy tasty" at her,
Yeah,
which is
which
like
is really dumb.
cringe. Yeah, so like the zombies can still talk at some point, I guess. I guess she's like so early in her development as a zombie
Hmm.
that I guess she's still coherent, like that story that we were talking about. Although maybe if they added that, it would have been a little cooler. Um, but um, so this point we're kind of like wondering like why they combined the uh the truck scene with Claire and um like some of the exposition. But that was neither here nor there. I think it's because like it's just an overall weird connection between this movie, the first two video games.
Yeah, because they
It's just
combined
like
both, and I don't know why they made that decision. It's a very strange decision.
yeah, it's like I'm sure that there's plenty of backstory and stuff that you could have added into to the to a movie just about the first one. Since there's plenty of material there that they tried to like shoehorn in, but like they just decided to like combine the first two for some reason. And then that makes it like it's funny because they probably didn't think they had enough material, but like looking at all the stuff that you could find, there probably would be. And then it just makes the movie feel rushed, as we'll see like later on. Um, and like uh so like Claire like escapes what does she do? She stabs I think she stabs the mom that's like attacking her as she's screaming itchy tasty at her and like trying to bite her face. And so right before Chris had left, he's all like, "Don't touch anything and don't touch my motorcycle." And then like first thing she does after she escapes from like the from the mom, leaving the boy there. I don't know if the boy was transformed yet, but she's like, "Fuck it." Um, she like goes into the garage and like steals his motorcycle, which is a callback to the actual beginning of Claire's story in Resident Evil 2,
Yeah, when
right?
she comes in with a motorcycle, which I don't like. Like I said before, I don't understand why they decided not to do it that way.
It's like that's what it was. The combining of the truck scene with the motorcycle scene, like it's really strange. They did it backwards. They did the truck scene first, and they did the motorcycle scene
Yeah,
afterwards instead of having the motorcycle scene first and then the truck scene later. Like I don't know why they needed an
from the original
explanation
game.
for.
In the remake, they
Yeah.
started with the truck.
Oh, I see.
In the remake, they started with the
Um,
truck, but Claire wasn't there. Um, if you had started with Claire, you would have been in the you would have been in the you would have had the cutscene of her pulling up on her motorcycle.
yeah. Um, that's a little strange. Maybe they just needed to combine the exposition from Chris's from her and Chris or whatever, like building their relationship or something like that, and then like well, there's the motorcycle. Um, so then what's it called? Okay, so she takes the motorcycle and then like peels out. Um, so that which brings us back to the police station. Which it cuts to the police station as all the Stars members got there. I don't think Chris was there at the time though. Um, so then so the police station is there. All the Stars members are bullshitting. Um, Leon is absent, and the fucking Chief Irons comes in, and he's played by the dad from Grounded for Life. I thought like weird choice. I don't know if I think the Grounded for Life dad was in the first movie. I mean, was in the first Resident Evil movies.
I don't think so.
Um, oh, he wasn't.
No, I don't think he had
I'm
anything
thinking
to
of.
do. He was in Blade 2.
I was gonna say. I think I'm thinking of Blade 2. That's like a movie with like vampire zombies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Blade 1. He was in Blade 1.
Blade. Are you sure he wasn't in Blade 2?
No. He was in Blade 1. See, we're mixing up all movies ever. The
Yeah.
Grounded for Life dad is like is
I
confusing us.
I'm always surprised whenever I see that dude in movies. Cause like I just remember him as the dad from Grounded for Life, and then like when he comes in and he plays like a prostitute or something, like a gay prostitute or something, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he here? And then he never changes his haircut. Like he doesn't age. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah. No, he
Um,
aged. He aged in this one.
He
He's
look
definitely
that
aged,
old.
but he still has the same haircut.
Yeah, he has the curtains haircut or whatever. And it's funny too because he like Leon like walks into the thing and he's like, get the fuck out of here, because he hates Leon for some reason.
Yeah, for
Um,
some reason.
It's because in the diner, Leon got in the diner scene. Sorry to go backwards, but in the diner scene, these two beat cops come in while the Stars team is bullshitting, and they like start picking on like Leon, like giving him a backstory of like being like a useless dumbass, and say that he shot his partner in the butt, um, like during their training or something. His like superior, like his more experienced partner, he shot him in the butt. And they said that like Leon's dad is like a higher up in like the police force, like outside of Raccoon City, and so that's what bailed him out. So they're basically saying that Leon is like a spoiled rich kid or something that is like incompetent and um doesn't deserve the job that he has in the movie. Um so that might be a reason why. But going back to the so Grounded for Life dad is like telling Leon to cut his hair also, even though his hair is just as long as Leon's. And he tells him to like go hang out in the front of the lobby of the police building. Um so the didn't you have a problem with this, Tony? Because like the police chief is giving everybody shit all the time. It's that
Yeah,
weird
it's
like
that
trope
same
of like
thing that I think we forgot to mention this in the Matrix review. Um, but in the Matrix review, the same thing happens where uh, what's her name? I can't think of her name, but Jada Pinkett Smith is like the stupid trope of like the police chief that's always pissed at everyone. What's like, what are
yeah,
what are you guys doing? How are
they're
you?
loose
You guys are
cannons.
fucking up. Hand in your badges right now. I'll have both your asses. Trials
Yeah.
or whatever. Like just
Court
always that kind.
martialed or
Court-martialed or whatever.
again.
Drill sergeant. You can
Two.
drill sergeant and chief of police are like always interchangeable.
Did you guys what is it called? Did you know how much cost and damage this is gonna cost the city? Like I would fire you guys if you weren't the best cops on the force.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens in that's what happens. He comes out and he just starts doing that where he's just like, oh, you guys are great playing grab ass, and I need you guys to find Bravo team and bring them back and all this shit.
Yeah, he's chewing everybody out, honestly, but he seems to hate Leon the most.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then he makes mention of like he says something about like getting to Wesker like getting eaten by a great white shark or a giant white
No,
snake or
that's
something.
Jill. Jill says like, what's worse, getting eaten by a snake or getting eaten by a great white shark? And it's like, what? But it's a stupid callback to the video game where she didn't even ask the guy who gets killed by the snake and the great white shark because it's Richard. And
Oh,
Richard
is
is
that the other
in the
guy?
office with them. He actually gets killed later on by zombies. But I just think it's
Oh,
funny that she said that.
didn't even notice him. Um,
Yeah, he was the guy who wasn't Vickers, because I think they give Vickers a line and the other dude, I think he says something about like I forgot what he says. Anyways, he's just some background character. It doesn't matter. They needed
Vickers was
people to
the
die. They needed people to get killed by zombies, and I guess that was one of them.
yeah, Vickers was the guy that I said earlier that I didn't know who he was. I think.
Yeah.
So then so then the dad
I'm
from
gonna turn on
Grounded
the
for
auto
Life
aim
chief
because this auto aim is not having auto aim is pissing me off.
um so Chief Irons gives them the rundown on the Spencer Mansion, which is like a very like short rundown because uh he gets cut off by something, and um and then like Wesker is like not paying attention to what the to what Chief Irons is talking about, which he's talking about the
Whoa.
Spencer Mansion and how like some how Bravo team has like disappeared up there, right?
Hmm.
And so like so he gives him some shit about like he mentions like taking a girl out on because like Wesker's like messing around with what looks like a phone. It's actually a Palm Pilot,
Hmm.
and he makes mention of like Wesker like going out on a date or something, or is he messaging a girl? I don't think they had messaging back then, so that might not have been it. But he makes mention of Blockbuster and like taking him out to go see a movie theater or
Yeah,
something like that.
he does a dumb joke. It was like a dumb joke of like Netflix and chill, but instead it was like Blockbuster and listen to Journey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He really likes Journey. He said like Steve Perry's like voice will what that can do to a woman
Yeah,
or
there's
something like
definitely a
that.
Journey element to this freaking thing for some reason because it's like he's he talks about Steve Perry. He talks about he's like listening to Journey later on. The
Yeah.
Birkin's wife looks like Steve Perry. Like there's this weird love of Journey.
I guess someone must be from New Jersey or something like that. In the
Maybe.
production team or something. Um, but like um, so then what is it called? So like he tells everybody to get the hell out of there, um, and go save Bravo team or see what the hell is going on. So we cut back to Claire, and Claire's like riding her motorcycle in the rain, um, and through the streets, which like the streets are like super empty right now. Um, Raccoon City streets are like deserted. It's raining, and then Birkin and his family are in a car heading the opposite way that Claire's heading, and Claire they almost hit Claire, and then Claire like notices Birkin, and they know each other. So apparently, so at the beginning, I forgot to mention that like Birkin was like I think she has a flashback at this point where Birkin had something to do with the orphanage. I don't know what the hell his role was there. I think it was like an orphanage run by Umbrella. So Birkin is like, um, for some reason is in a lab coat in this like flashback and is like, talks to Claire about something or other, probably about her getting adopted. And, so then they're all like, well, that was weird. And they like drive off. Um, and like, Claire's like speeding through the streets, the lady waitress, that was like bleeding from her eyeball before is like walking the streets now, and she's like fully become a zombie. Um, cut to the truck driver that we saw earlier, the rapist truck driver who had the squirts from Wendy's. Um, his dog had fully turned into a zombie and bit him, causing him to become a zombie. So at this point, he's fully become a zombie driving the truck, and then because his brain is deteriorated quickly, he crashes the truck right in front of the police station. Um, which Leon is like right there at the lobby of the police station, um, sleeping, like passed out asleep. Doesn't notice like a giant truck like skidding towards the front of the police station and blocking off the exit. Um, and we noticed that Leon is wearing like Sony headphones, and there's like a Sony uh like 8-track player in the background or something like that, right, Tony? Like a bunch of product placement for Sony products as
Yeah, it's
like
really obvious. You know what I mean? Because they make because on the thing they can like you can see the bright. Like you can't see the rest of the product, but you can see like they had enhanced the Sony on written on all the products, so you can see it's Sony products because I guess it was just product, just like so you remember Sony. It's like Sony branding because a lot of the stuff that they have in there you can't really get from Sony anymore. Oh, what the? Yeah, so like you can't get like a CD player Walkman from them anymore. You can get a Walkman apparently. They have like $900 Walkmans. Why would you want that? I don't know.
some hipsters like that stuff. Um, no, I just thought it was weird. Well, actually, it's not. It makes sense because the production company is like a production company under the Sony banner. So
Yeah.
so I guess they must have like saved on costs by using Sony props or something for all the electronics. But you can see it on like the head on Leon's headphones, like the big white Sony on the side of the black headphones. Um and so at this point, um uh, the so the truck crashes, and and then as Leon is like asleep, not noticing anything, he like wakes up a bit. Um, uh, After I think he starts hearing like zombies at at the far end of the gate. That's like at the farther end of the a bit far from the entrance of the police station. And the truck driver that's on fire walks into the walks into the police station. Um, and like Leon wakes up and he's like, "What the hell is that?" And then like he's like fumbling for his gun, like a he just can't get a hold of it. And then Chief Irons comes out and like shoots the dude in the head, the truck driver in the head that's on fire, and like falls on the ground, which is kind of funny because at this point they don't know that the zombies exist. So it could have just been like a random dude that was on fire, and they're like, "Oh fuck, shoot him!" Like no help whatsoever, just shoot him in the head. Um, but I guess he must have deduced that the dude was like some kind of criminal or something.
Hmm.
Um, so so after that, like they obviously see that the front end of the police station is like messed up, and they like go to the back room and like Leon's trying to figure out what the hell is going on, why everybody's gone, and the police chief is just like, I don't know, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and he's like, why are you getting out of here? He's like, all the phone lines are dead, so I have to leave. And it's like, what do you mean? He's he's like, how am I gonna get my like training? Like, what are we supposed to help the city? He's like, fuck that. And and then what's it called? Police Chief Irons like takes off in his like Camaro, like his really well kept Camaro, and like then Leon's just left there to like fend for himself. Um, oh, at this point we found out that like that what's her name, the mayor's daughter, the subplot of the mayor's daughter is not in this movie.
Yeah,
Um,
Chief Irons is a bad guy. In the
yeah,
original game, he's a crazy psychopath that was working with Umbrella.
he was like and he like dissects the daughter for some reason. Like he kidnaps the mayor's daughter and like for some
I think
reason
that's
murders
implied
her.
though. I don't think he. Yeah, he's keeping the body. He's a fan of taxidermy.
Is that what he says in the, is that what he says in
Yeah, he
the
has a
game?
bunch of taxidermy things in his thing. They make it more obvious in the remake. They make it more obvious in the remake because then he's in like she's like laying on the table in his like weird lab where he does all his taxidermy shit.
Yeah, and he's like he chases Sherry, right? This little mini game of him chasing Sherry through the police station later on.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it's somebody else. Um, I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah. So she's not in this game. I mean, she's not in this movie. Uh, so which, by the way, there's a comic book dedicated to that character and that subplot that's written by I think it's like the manga that's in Japan. There's like a whole like story behind that,
Japan?
and
You mean China?
yeah, it's Chinese. Are you sure?
Isn't it? I don't remember. I know what you're talking about though.
They might not be connected to the actual game, so forget I said that. Um, so
Mm-hmm. You were saying?
so at this point we're like, this movie's terrible, right?
Yeah.
Because they like combined everything, and it's like we're already like, yeah, this is not a good adaptation. Um, and we cut to the back to the mansion. We cut to the mansion for the first time. So cut to like the Claire, I'm sorry, what's her name? Jill, Chris, I don't remember when Chris showed up and joined up with them, but I think he was on the helicopter.
Yeah, he was
Chris
in the
Wesker,
mission. He was in the briefing room too, but he was kind of just sitting around.
right. So the Stars team is like landing in their helicopter in the mountainous area where the mansion is. Um You start walking. It is like the first. It's sort of like the scene from the first Resident Evil game. So Resident Evil 1. What's it called? Wesker for some reason is like trying to look at a bird or something like that. And gets shot. And then the bird gets shot like right next to Wesker's head.
Mm-hmm.
By Jill. There's like a big theme of like Jill like shooting things right at the very last second. Um, Jill in the diner scene had shot Leon in the head with like a gun or something, and that's why she took the Jill sandwich.
Wait, what?
Then
What are you talking
you don't
about?
remember?
She shot Leon in the
Leon,
head?
yeah, she shot Leon in the head with like a toy gun because they were like busting like Leon's balls,
Oh,
and Leon when he was
okay.
asleep at the in the
Because the way
diner
you
at the
said
very
it,
beginning of
the
the
way you
movie.
said it was she shot Leon in the head with a gun and took his sandwich.
And that was very bad.
Yeah,
She took the Jill sandwich. No, that would have made the movie like
better.
slightly different. No, yeah, it would have made it a lot better. So she saves Wesker from getting attacked by like a Boyd, and what is it called? I don't think they get chased by dogs, zombie dogs, into the mansion. I think they just stumble upon the mansion and walk in. Um, and mansion looked decent, right? It didn't look that bad. It looked like the mansion from the game.
Yeah, it did.
Like the set. I don't think there was any like. Yeah, I don't think it was bad set design. It looked pretty good. So they look at the mansion and then just decide to split up for whatever reason. They're like, all right, let's check this place out. Uh, Hopefully nothing bad happens here, and we'll find Bravo team. Um, so we cut back to we cut back to Chief Irons, and he's like he's in his car like driving, listening to Journey. Um, he's listening to what's that song? Uh, Any Way You Want It. Um, and he gets stopped by like Umbrella SWAT team. Like he gets stopped by in a big line of cars that is stopped because like Umbrella has created a barrier around the perimeter of the city, and it's not letting anybody pass. And then like Chief Irons is like trying to figure out what the hell is
Jeremy
going on.
Irons. Um,
Jeremy Irons, the who's Jeremy Irons? That's what's it called? Dumbledore? Might be Dumbledore, but uh, he's trying to like he's trying to like walk out and like talk to the SWAT team, but they just start shooting everybody that's like in a line to get out of there. And like they shoot it was funny because they shoot like Chief Irons's like car like a million times, but it's made out of like it's like an American muscle cars, and it's like made out of like bulletproof uh
everything.
metal, bulletproof, yeah, everything, because it doesn't break down or anything. He just like speeds off and says fuck this.
Yeah, they're like shooting through his windshield and not hitting him. But those guards were bad shots anyway, because there was a guy walking up to them with his hands up, and they couldn't hit him.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't notice
remember
in the
that guy
movie.
that was trying to get inside of Irons' car, and he was like, "Get away from my car! Get away!" Um, he walked up to the mercenaries with his hands up, and they were shooting at him for like a good minute and not hitting him. I think, and then he got shot like 2 times.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they were just like, what is it called? I don't know. The umbrella. Maybe it's because they have those big red, fucking, goggles or whatever. They can't see through them. I don't know. I don't see the reason of wearing red goggles while you're trying to shoot stuff. I never understood that like sign. Um, Make them look cool. Uh, so then, oh, I forgot to mention also earlier they're keeping track of time throughout the day that this is all happening. Um so like I believe when they get to the mansion it's like around 12 midnight. Um when the very beginning when Claire's like driving in it's like 10 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so now as Jeremy Irons is like driving away and looking for shelter, he goes back to the parking lot of the police station. Um, and it's like 1:50 p.m. at night or a.m. I guess. Um, show a scene of like these zombies like trying to get through the gate that's blocked off by the truck, and like some of the zombies are still saying itchy tasty. I think um the mom from the house is like one of the zombies trying to get in. And uh this is when we like started what is it called, wondering like how big the budget was for this movie, right,
Mm-hmm.
Tony? Because it's like they use the same actors and actresses like over and over and over again. And when we looked it up, we found that the budget was only like 25 million, and then they only made back like 30 million worldwide. So
Yeah.
like domestically, they must have made like barely anything. Because the the worldwide audience usually makes up for any like losses, but they only made like $5 million in profit. So nobody liked this movie. Um, uh, it shows because the towns look, only a couple of things look really, really good.
Yeah.
Uh, but the town looks shit. The actors are like kind of
They
like
had no background characters. It was just like the main cast in this like I mean, I think I was telling you that I think that's why they I was telling you I think that's why they decided to do the whole Raccoon City is a ghost town thing, because they didn't have enough to have background characters or anything, so all they could have is the main characters. So it
yeah, that's
made sense
true.
that they didn't have to hire all these zombie actors or anything like that, because I believe the lady who played the zombie at the beginning played several zombies.
Oh really?
Yeah. They have one scene where they have a couple of zombies, but I think they probably paid some background character people like $100 to show up one day, like one day of filming, because that scene it was like 5 zombies attacking them. You know, and they must have filmed that all
Uh,
in one day, because I don't think they wanted to keep them very long, because no other scene has large amounts of zombies in it. It's always 1 or 2 zombies. There's a scene where like Leon's looking out of the window of the police station, and he's there's like 2 zombies at the gate, and one of them is the lady zombie, is the lady from that attacked Claire earlier on. Again, this time she's wearing a nurse outfit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's uh I don't know. It's kind of like a sci-fi movie, like the Sci-Fi Channel version of Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Um which I mean, the fact that it's like the most accurate one is it's kind of sad, but
yeah,
um I guess what's it called? It shows like how well you put together stuff. I mean, you could have like all the right pieces, but then like just put them together in like a really shitty way. Uh, so uh, so Chief Irons like goes into the parking lot of the police station. Um, and he gets attacked by like a bunch of like Doberman Pinscher zombie dogs.
mm-hmm.
Um, which look like shit because they're all CGI. Like they look like super washed out. Um, it's how do I explain it? They're like slightly lighter than the background. Like the background is kind of like darkly lit, but they're lighter than that, and you can tell that they were made lighter so you could see them in the dark.
Wait a minute,
Because those
Denny.
no
Can I say something real quick about this game that I'm playing? Because sorry for people who are just listening in the background, but like pull out your phone and look at this real quick. These
what you
zombies
did.
were 2 police officer zombies when I went in. Now it's these guys. This GameCube version is kind of janky. Sorry,
Pain, like
I just wanted to point that you can put your phone back in your pocket and continue doing your laundry, guys.
could you
Go
get
ahead.
the hair in your pants?
Yeah.
Keep your penis out, but put your phone back in your pocket.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So then, uh, dogs look like shit. CGI dogs. Uh, what's it called? For some reason, there's a lot of like different cuts in this movie. Like you uh, cut back from Claire. You cut to like the Stars team. You cut to police chief Irons. You cut back to the police. It's like they really shouldn't have combined all these. So now we cut to the mansion. Um, where the Stars team is like starting to explore. They like turn a corner and they see the iconic bald zombie from the first from Resident Evil 1. Um which is like he's eating which character was it, Tony? Which character? It wasn't Vickers, it was Ricardo?
It was it's supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be. He's supposed to be eating Kenneth. He's supposed to be eating
Oh,
Kenneth, but for some reason in the movie he's killing Enrico. It's definitely not
okay.
Kenneth.
A representation of Hispanic dudes in here too.
Yeah.
Like um
Whoa, shit. Didn't. Fuck, I forgot about that.
I don't did a piece of you fall off just now?
No, no,
Um
no, that was the guy's arm.
yeah, so then he's like you know, the zombie is like eating Enrico and turns around and then it's like, oh, there's that scene, but it's like the impact of the scene is completely like ruined because it's like we've seen zombies before. Like it's not nothing scary about this. Um it's like, you know, are we supposed to be, I don't know, are we supposed to be surprised by seeing this thing or is it just another like fan servicey like nod to the games? Um I mean that's I think that's in the games to build tension. Like the zombies are I mean the dogs are attacking you at the very beginning of the Resident Evil 1 game
Mm-hmm.
and like chasing you in, but I don't think you know that they're zombies yet. They're just kind of like crazy scary looking. Um but like when you see it like in the first game, I think it's supposed to like be a big reveal at least for the characters because they haven't seen anything like that before. But as the audience you're like seeing it, it's like okay, yeah, we know. Like if I was like a person that didn't know Resident Evil, I'd be all like, oh, I don't see why this zombie is so important. They just killed him right now.
Yeah.
Um, so um, yeah, that was dumb. They shoot the zombie and then what is it called? Um, so then they start being attacked by other zombies. And then it shows the helicopter driver, the helicopter pilot. He's like in his helicopter just waiting, blissfully unaware that his like team is being attacked by zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing with a Nokia phone. You know, the indestructible one.
Yeah, and he's
Uh
playing Snake on it.
yeah, I know. Yeah. If you don't remember, guys, it's the 90s. Remember when you used to do that, play Snake on your Nokia phone? That would never. And oh, and Three Non Blondes. He's listening to Three Non Blondes in the on his radio. Um, so so he gets attacked by zombies. Then we cut back again to I guess what is it called? Uh, oh, they split up. That's why. So like the people that saw the turning head zombie, as it's so like
Mm.
it's named by Masahiro, whatever, the creator of the fucking game. Um, so so it was I think Chris and Vickers that went off by themselves and saw the turning head zombie,
Yeah.
and then
No, no, no. Vickers is
and
in the
Jill.
helicopter.
Oh,
I
Vickers
think
in the
him and
helicopter.
Richards. I think him and Richard are on the plane. I mean, are
Oh, okay.
in the mansion.
Okay then. So him and Richard see the turning head zombie. Jill and Wesker are like off exploring a different room where they stumble upon a piano,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because like Wesker is looking at his Palm Pilot the entire time, and his Palm Pilot has like a picture of like piano keys on it. And so when they walk into the room,
Oh, I
the
didn't see that
piano there.
part. See? Oh, there we
Yeah,
go. I didn't see that part. I thought he just knew how
yeah,
to play freaking Moonlight Sonata out of his ass for no reason.
yeah. Couldn't did they really have to have Birkin in this movie? Like, couldn't they have just replaced Birkin with
Did they have
Wesker
to
and
do
made Wesker Barry?
Did they have to do one movie? They could have made two
No, they could have did
movies.
two. Yeah, they could have did two. Um, cause like, I mean, all the scenes that are Barry's they give to Wesker,
Yeah.
and all the things that could have been done by like Birkin could have been done by Wesker. So like, I don't know. I'll bring that up later again. When we get to the the climax or whatever. Um, so then he plays Moonlight Sonata on there at the beginning of Moonlight Sonata, and um then the one of the shelves because they're in like a library room with the piano in it, and one of the shelves like opens up and it's like a corridor. Uh, and like a darkly lit corridor, and then like Jill's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's like, gotta do some I gotta do some reconnaissance or something." That's what Wesker says to Jill. Um, and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
um,
He
and
just said.
so yeah, um, so like him and Jill like have like a talk about like what's going on right now, and then he says like, "Oh yeah, Umbrella, I gotta do this thing for these people," and then she's like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, are you just gonna are you just gonna go off on your own right now? Like, cause we're in the middle of a situation here." He's all like, "Yeah, I just gotta go take care of this." And he's like, "There's a fucking creepy corridor. You can't go down there." He's all like, "Listen, I gotta do this." And then think that's at the time where like since the pilot was being attacked, Vickers,
Yeah.
while playing on his Nokia phone, he was being attacked. I think he tried to take off while he was
While he was being
while he was being
attacked.
attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in the original game, for anybody that doesn't know, he flies away and leaves them there, which is why they can't escape. But in this one, he just gets killed,
Oh.
which would have made sense in the original. They could have done. I mean, that doesn't is not a big impact for the story. The only thing that the only thing that Brad Vickers dying in the first one tells us is that there's not going to be a 3. They're not going to do anything with Nemesis. You know what I mean? If they make a sequel.
Oh. They could just replace him with somebody else, right? They could just make up a
Yeah, that's
character.
true.
Well, there's not gonna be. We're not gonna see number 3 because this fucking movie bombed like a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah, because they made 5 million, which for regular people like us, that's a lot. But for Hollywood, not so much. Oh boy.
Yeah, especially when you're like, I mean, you should be making like at least double what you put into it, right?
Yeah, yeah, they really want to like making half back is breaking even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them. So
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh,
definitely not
I
gonna.
don't know how
I
many
mean,
they
I don't
got.
think anybody wants one either because it's like most people like this movie just kind of came and went.
Yeah.
Um, and like the biggest thing was like the casting of it, and then like just people were like the reception was just like meh. Um, so like as we were saying before, the Vickers is like trying to pilot away while he's being attacked. As Wesker and Jill are arguing, the fucking helicopter crashes into the mansion
Mm-hmm.
in into the room that they're in, and so they like jump out of the way, and then like a big ball of flame engulfs the camera, and we cut yet again um to um to Chief Irons, who's like hiding from the who's still dealing with the
Oh shit.
with the dogs like attacking him, and him trying to like shoot his way out of there. Um, uh, Um, and also the the movie needs to remind you that it's 2:29 a.m. Um, so then what is it called? So then Chief Irons is like, I forget how Leon ends up here. I think Chief Irons is like backed up into a corner where one of the dogs is about to bite his face. Um, and Leon like tries to help him or something like that. I think he walks in and then sees what's happening, and the dog's about to attack Chief Irons, and he's saved by Claire. I think Claire's got a shotgun or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then Chief Irons is like, "Who the fuck are you?" And she's all like, "I'm Claire Redfield" or something like that, something lame. Um, so so then they decide that they need to go get some guns. Um, uh, they need to go get some guns, and then Leon tries to ask like Claire like why the hell she's here or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying that she needed they go into the police station to talk about all this. And she introduces her. She says that she's Chris's sister, and and they decide that they need to get the hell out of there somehow. So they start looking for a way to get out of there, but they need to get some guns. And Leon like asks Claire while they're in the armory of the police station, like, "How do you know how to shoot guns so well?" And then Claire says something
Oh
like,
yeah,
"She grew up in."
she grew up in an
So
orphanage or something.
they teach you how to shoot guns?
Yeah, no, she said it was a roundabout way of I had to take care of myself, but she could have just been like she could have just been like I learned to take care of myself, but instead she does this roundabout. I grew up in me and Chris grew up in an orphanage. We I was taken away from him, and he stayed in the orphanage, so I was on my own for a lot of my life. So I had to learn to take care of myself. I'm like, you could have just said I had to learn to take care of myself.
Yeah, or like something like I don't know. You can learn a lot of things. Shoot it. It would have been probably would have been funnier if his like shooting class or like like a gun range. um, like I don't know what would make him think that she couldn't shoot anything.
Yeah, well,
Plus her
because
brother's like a
I
cop.
mean, implied sexism. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, because he's a dumbass, right? Like Leon's like so dumb and like naive that he wouldn't know that people can just pick up how to use a gun. Um, so um, oh, so that's when they cut to them searching for a way to get out, and Leon stumbles on the reporter from the VHS tape stuck in a prison cell.
Yeah.
Um, which would explain why Claire is in Raccoon City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's looking for the reporter. Yeah, I don't think she's there to visit Chris. Um, I think she's looking for the reporter that like went to Raccoon City to like investigate, and he
Yes.
just so happens to be in the prison there. Um, so so Leon stumbles upon him first, and then she's all like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then he's like, "That's a stupid question. Get me out of here." Um, because the person he's locked up with in the small cell is infected. Is is turning into a zombie, and he tells Leon about the he says something about the I aim to find out about the T virus. I mean the G virus. Um
Yeah, I know. Did he
and
mess up that line, or did they write it like that?
I think they wrote it like that
Because I'm
because I
really
don't think
curious about that. It's strange the way he phrases it. Because he's like, do you know about the T virus, G virus?
yeah.
Yeah, it was freaking weird.
Um are the viruses different from the first game to the second game?
Yeah, the T virus is the first one. It's the one that releases all the zombies, and the G virus is a stronger version of it.
Oh, okay then. That's kind of weird since well, the games don't take place on the same time, right?
No, they take a no. Well, two I think takes place a couple months after the first one, because in the intro to two, in the intro to 2, they explain that Jill was going around trying to get people to. I think Chris disappears. Chris disappears, and Jill is left in the town to like be to tell everyone, hey, fucking Umbrella's doing zombies and shit, and nobody believes her.
Oh,
And then
okay.
so she's getting ready to leave, and then the zombie apocalypse happens, and then you get then you get Nemesis, the spin-off one. You find out what Jill was doing when the Raccoon City thing was going on.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah, I know. It's they really messed up the continuity by making the two movies happen at the same time.
Maybe they were like confused about like the chronology of the movies because number 3 takes place at the same time as number 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so maybe they got that mixed up or something, or maybe the writers' room was like, I don't know. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in the fucking writers' room or whatever to see um what they were thinking with it. I'm sure they played the games.
Yeah.
Maybe they went through the games first and then did it because there was a lot of stuff from the games.
I
in there.
hope so. I hope they did, because I watched interviews with the actors, and some of the actors didn't know what Resident Evil was.
Okay.
The only
How
person
could
that
you
looked like
not?
they knew what Resident Evil was probably the guy who played Chris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the guy who played Leon. But they gave him a character to play, and he played it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, the Disney Channel star. I think that dude's like he was like on a Disney Channel TV show like with Victoria Justice or something like that.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Like, getting a bunch of Disney stars to be in like these awful movies.
Well, they're trying to launch their careers.
Yeah, but they're doing it. They always mess up and do it. Like he's gonna end up being one of those weird child stars that like never, that never went on to do anything good. um, so
Yeah, he's really gonna be he's really gonna just not go any. That guy's really not gonna go anywhere, because this didn't really show off his. Uh, I don't know, man. He looked like he was on like a freaking high school stage play or something.
yeah, I look really bad. The fucking Japanese Resident Evil plays are better than this, I think, right?
In terms of acting, yeah.
Yeah, cause I mean the characters don't look any better, I don't think, cause like Leon is supposed to look like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hmm.
That's his character model. It's Leon S. Kennedy, Leonardo, uh, um, Leonardo DiCaprio, Leon S. Kennedy.
Hmm.
You get the thing there.
Yeah.
Um, so like in this one where it's like an Indian dude and like the Japanese stage play where it's a Japanese dude. Um, yeah, it doesn't it's not that accurate. It's just kind of strange. Um, but the story's better on the stage plays, that's for sure. Um, so then so we're talking about the reporter, right? Who's in the cell.
Yeah.
And so the fucking the like reporter in the cell the dude's turning into a zombie and he's like, "Get me out of here, you retard!" To Leon, and then I forget what happens. I don't think Leon gets there in time. And the reporter, oh, and then Claire gets there and sees like the reporter getting like eaten um by the zombie dude, and it's like, Leon, you dumbass."
Oh, by the way, can I
And
say this? Can I say this? The guy who played the reporter, probably the best performance of the movie. You know what I mean?
so that
No, just he was okay. He was not bad. His acting
really,
wasn't bad. He sounded like he did a good job of showing that he was like afraid and really desperate to get out of the jail cell. You know what I mean? Which that's all he did. That was his only thing that he did in the movie, but I thought he did a good job of it. You know, everybody else was in danger and stuff, but they were all stoic about it. Sometimes it didn't
well, he
even
had
feel
that
like they
scene
were in danger.
true. Um, he had that scene at the beginning with the VHS tape, but that was mostly exposition, I think. So you can't really like gauge too much from that. Um, but yeah, well, I think it's not a high bar to like reach because everybody else is just like terrible, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I guess any competent like actor is gonna look good in this. Another side note too is that like when the reporter gets killed by the zombie inside the cell, this is when we knew for sure there wasn't gonna be a Mr. X in here. Um, I think I don't think his first appearance isn't the remake when he kills the dude in the jail cell, right? It's he gets dropped. It's like the original where he gets dropped off by a helicopter into the police department, right?
Right.
Um, so sorry people, no Mr. X, no DMX meme or anything like
Yeah,
that.
and this is for all you people. Yeah, we're just doing like a recap review for anybody that doesn't want to watch it,
Yeah, that's true.
or if you
Um,
already watched it. It's always I always do that. I always watch a movie first and then listen to reviews. But
well the thing is that like what is it called? It's just kind of like there's like little weird things in this. There's like little weird things, and it's like it makes you wonder like why they decided to do that. Because I mean, they're recapping the story of like the video game like pretty well, like closest to any other movie that's been out there. And people roll their eyes at the Resident Evil the original Resident Evil series, but this one's like a lot closer, but it didn't make it any better. So it's kind of interesting to me that like why they're giving people what they want but still doesn't work.
yeah, well the I think they're giving them I think they're giving people what they think they want, and I think they think that people want nostalgia because a lot of people complain about things not being like in the game. You know what I mean? But you know that if you make a good movie, I think people can forgive a lot of it. It's just that movie studios take people at their word, so they when they read the comments, all the top comments are always like, "Why isn't Jill do this? Why is there no Jill?" It's just like, "Oh, the first Resident Evil." It's like, "Why isn't there a Jill?" It's like, "Oh, why isn't there this and that?" And then they try to fix it, and it's just like, "No, no, no, no. It's not that the people didn't want Jill; it's that they wanted a story that was a little bit closer to the original." You know what I mean? And then they're like, okay, we're gonna make it like the original, but we're gonna still switch things up, and we're not gonna do very good acting in it,
Yeah.
or just we're just gonna. All we have to do is make it like the original. That's all we have to do. It's
Right.
like no, 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 no. You have to make it good. You can't just make it the
Superficially like the
original.
original.
Yeah,
Very superficial way of thinking.
yeah. But that's how. But Hollywood's superficial. I mean, we all know this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It could be better. Should have had they should have had the fucking what
If
is
they
it called?
tried, it would have been good. They would have made a lot of money too, but I don't know. It seems like Hollywood's allergic to money.
Should have had the big fucking alligator chasing Leon. That shit would have been cool.
They should have split
what
it.
is
Honestly, They should have split it into two movies.
Yeah, go yeah.
They should have
So
split it into two movies because they would have been able to focus on stories instead of making this jumbled mess of like an hour and 40-minute movie. You know what I mean? Like especially in this day and
I
age
think
of like 3-hour movies, the fact that they made it an hour 40 minutes means that they had no idea they had no idea how to pad this motherfucker out. Combining two video games together, two of the video games together, to make this movie, and then were like they were like right at the minimum of how long a movie should be.
true.
Yeah, so that's really bad.
And there's a lot of shit that they cut out. Like I said, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, there's like fucking so much material that they fucking they didn't work with.
Mm-hmm.
But they combined it together like there wasn't enough. So really strange. And it's like it's not even focusing on the two movies that two movies that got remakes recently that are revitalizing the games or the property. It's like
Wait, what are those?
number 1 and number 2.
Oh,
Maybe they just thought that number 1 wasn't going to be a big enough draw, and so they're like, we got to put number 2 in this because number 2 has a game, so it's gonna people can't remember the first one because that one doesn't have a remake. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um, So maybe that was their strategy. It really fucked it up. um, I think people would have went to go see number one regardless, if it just focused on the original story.
Yeah, yeah. If they just did like Resident Evil, like Welcome to Raccoon City or whatever, because I don't know why they decided to put a subtitle on it. I guess maybe they couldn't get the rights. But so does Sony Pictures make the original Resident Evils? Not the original Resident Evils, but do they make the Sony has the Resident Evil license. I no Capcom does, but whatever. Anyways, okay. Sony made the original Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich. Did they make those?
Um, isn't it Paramount? Um,
I don't remember who had those movies, but um, I was assuming that I was assuming. Oh, hey, what is Browning high powered, manufactured by FN in Belgium. Amazing. 9mm parabellum rounds. I don't know if that's true. Did Browning high power come in 9mm? I don't know. I'm. I could have sworn it came in like. Could have sworn it came in 45, but I guess.
actually, Constantine made the original ones too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Which is Sony. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's Sony.
Okay, so they. Oh,
Um,
so that's strange that they couldn't just call this one Resident Evil. But maybe they wanted to differentiate just in case they want to try again.
makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I guess so. I still don't get why they would do the first two though. I mean, there must be something there. I'm sure there's a marketing thing there. Um,
Yeah, it always comes down to marketing, so I'm sure there's some kind of weird scam.
um, so then uh so yeah, there's so getting back to the recap. Um, uh, so then after that dude gets killed or whatever, they shoot the zombie. Or Leon shoots the zombie. And he shoots the zombie and he looks like Mudahar.
He looks exactly like him, and it bugged me a lot.
Mudahar, the guy from Mudahar. Everybody knows who Mudahar is, right? On YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Some Ordinary Gamers. I knew him as Some Ordinary Gamers, but yeah, he's a very
When he read creepypastas, he was a lot better than his like weird his weird glory hound shit that he does now.
yeah. I know. It's like what is it called? I don't know. Just go back to creepypastas or whatever. Stop being
Yeah.
the laughing guy from the meme. Um, okay. So Leon shoots him, and then they're like, "We got to get out of here." And then they like leave the area where the cell is at. And then so now we cut back to the mansion. Um, it is now 4 a.m. The movie tells us. Um, so uh, so like after the wreckage and like the fire that's been around the room, and Wesker and Jill had survived. Um, uh, the way the helicopter that's burning in the background looks like shit. It's another CGI thing that looks horrible.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I don't know. Like we said, the budget is bad.
Did I?
Um,
What's going on?
uh,
Did I forget something?
Wesker and Jill finally part ways. Like Jill's like, you can't just leave us or something like that, and then Wesker's all like, fuck it. Um,
Yeah.
I gotta do this stuff, and she's like, why? It's all like, I need money. I'm fucking broke or something. Um, and she's all like, and then she's like, you're abandoning your friends, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. And then he takes off into the bookcase that had opened up when he played the piano. Um, And then Claire is left there by herself. There was like a scene where I think that like some zombies attacked them, and then Claire like shot him or something like that. After the helicopter crashed again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh no, wait, it was a zombie that was jumping that was gonna attack. I'm sorry, not Claire, Jill. Um, was gonna attack Jill, and then they like shot it in the head twice for some reason. I don't know why that was necessary. Maybe that was their introduction into zombies because they hadn't seen a zombie before. So it would make sense why that was a important part. But yeah, so Wesker runs into the thing, and that's the end of that scene. Cut back to the police. Cut back to the police station. Leon, Claire, and Chief Irons
Mm-hmm.
are like running out of the police station. They find like a back door to the police station and like leave out of that. And conveniently, like right next to the police station is the orphanage that 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 Claire grew up in. Like it's got like a big raccoon giving it like a tongue, like sticking its tongue out um at the gate of it. And it's just kind of funny that she never saw that police station before. As she was living in an orphanage next to it for like years. Um So they run into the orphanage to, I guess, escape out of the zombie horde. That's not really a horde because you don't really see hordes of zombies here because the budget is low. And um, they walk into their as they're like exploring the orphanage. Uh, it's like really darkly lit. Leon is like walking past a darkly lit room and he sees Lisa Trevor,
Mm-hmm.
the monster girl from the very beginning. Um, and then he like turns around for a second to look at Claire, and she disappears again.
Oh wait, can I make a
Um,
point real quick?
I go for it.
Okay, on the screen. Sorry, you're gonna have to take your phones out of your pocket again while you're listening to us. But the gun that Leon uses in the game is the H&K VP70, which I'm showing here on the screen. These shits are like $1,400 right now, but in the movie, for some reason, he has a 45 1911. I don't. I mean, I can understand with the budget that they had that they couldn't get him. They couldn't get him in H&K, but it just bugged me to see it that everybody had Berettas because you know the Samurai Edge is a Beretta, um, M9. But I just thought it was strange that they couldn't get him that. Just you know just to show that you know he could have it.
I mean, like I said, they focus on like they add these little touches here and there, like the helmet, but then like these other things they get
I'll be right back.
they get wrong. I don't think anybody really like other than like gun enthusiasts really care about that too much. But I mean, if I guess if you have I guess if you have the if you got that the special talent, your brain, you know the one. It starts with an A and ends with a M. You probably it's cool. I mean, it's cool stuff, but like um, it's just the little things. It's gun porn, people. Um, so going back to the going back to the recap. Um, going back to the recap. So Leon, Lisa Trevor like disappears. They do a close up of her head, and her like mask looks pretty decent. There's probably a reason they did a close up, like her skin mask head. I don't know what the story is behind that. It might be her parents' skin or something. I'm gonna have to ask Tony when he gets back. Um, but it looks pretty good. That I mean, it's practical effect look pretty nice. So as they're walking through, Chief Irons is like walking behind Claire and Leon,
Right.
and he gets attacked. He gets like a big red thing that looks a lot like a tongue, like wraps around his neck, and he's like torn up to the ceiling. And
Yeah, that was a weird. That was a weird decision too. I guess they wanted the liquor to kill somebody. Wanted to kill somebody, but since, like I said, they weren't gonna. They were hell bent on not hiring extras or anything. Oh, am I poisoned?
yeah,
Okay, good. They were hell bent on not hiring extras or anything like that. They had to kill like Chief Irons.
well, Chief Irons I think served his purpose as to show that the Umbrella Corporation sent military down to keep the they sent Hunk down to like keep people inside. I suppose so they have to like find another way out of the city or
Yeah,
something.
and then they showed Hunk
Um,
like, or what I think we like it was supposed to be like fan service to Hunk or whatever, but they showed the Hunk like character to everyone. Like anybody that didn't know who the fuck it was would have known who it was. Like we know it was Umbrella's hired goons, hired mercenaries, um, keeping everyone inside so that way there wouldn't be any witnesses. But anybody that hasn't watched the movie, I mean, it doesn't know what Resident Evil is, wouldn't know that. They're just like, what the hell are these guys and what the hell are they doing? It was very this movie was very oh shit. This movie was very unfriendly to people who don't know what Resident Evil is.
yeah, and it's I mean it's kind of weird because I'm torn because it's like who doesn't know who Resident Evil is at this point, but then again
Oh,
it's like
Danny.
who
I mean, older people, people who've never played the games. I know a lot of people who have never played the games, especially Zoomers, because they don't bother to play these type of games anymore. All they do is play Call of Duty.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Call of Duty is like the new like Madden. um
yeah, it really is. Madden's the new Madden, because people still play
or
Madden. People still play NBA games and stuff. Mostly,
well,
But yeah,
yeah. Uh, very athletic.
yeah.
Some say they like to run at a very slow pace. Um, so yeah, so
Ooh.
yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, isn't it kind of weird that like a liquor comes out and then never comes out ever again? But I guess they already established that like the team, like zombies biting people, biting different things can cause weird issues. I mean, all it did was zombify the dogs and then zombify the owl. I guess that ate the blood. But I don't think they established that they could fucking mutate you. But then again, also Lisa Trevor is like a fucking weird mutant thing, which she comes back right now because the liquor like drops yeah, it's revealed that it's the liquor that hung um Chief Irons into the ceiling because he's like dropped and he's all scratched up and stuff. And he's dead obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the liquor comes down and like slams down on the floor or whatever, and then it's about to attack Leon and Claire, and then Lisa Trevor comes out to save the day. She like jumps out of the back or something, and then like the epic fight between Lisa Trevor and the liquor ensues.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, and then they just fighting and like beating each other up and stuff, and it's so freaking goofy looking, because it's like
yeah,
it's this cosplay of this game character from Resident Evil One remake or whatever versus the liquor. It's stupid. And anyways, she ends up smashing the liquor's head.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait. I liked what is it called? She was on its back for a little bit too, so I don't know why it popped into my head, but I was like, someone's gonna ship this. Give me hentai of this
Yes.
one
Oh no, there already is. I bet.
day. Oh God. So yeah, Lisa Trevor like saves the day and she like points that she's like, "Friend, I know you somehow. You look
Yeah.
completely different. I'm supposed to be mentally disabled or something, but whatever. You grew up into like a lady who hasn't slept in a couple of years and whose hair looks like it smells. Shout outs to Brittany Venti. So what is it called? So then Lisa Trevor's like is like, I'll help you guys, and then she like takes them into the old playroom
Mm-hmm.
that Claire had met her in at the very beginning of the movie, and she's all like, "Look behind this, look at this wall, and here, look at these," and she gives them the keys, the like keys that like their heads are like the poker, um, the the poker chips or whatever, the poker like the club of diamonds and all that shit, and then she like points to like a little thing on the wall, and then like behind that little like ornament on the wall is like a keyhole, and so they open it up, and it leads into like a big hallway, much like the one that Wesker went through. Um, so cut back to what's it called? So then Leon and Claire decide, all right, let's go through this. Let's venture forward. So they go through it, and then they end up in a room where where they see some footage, like they see like a projector or something like that. They play a projector,
Hmm.
and it's got the two albino children in it, the Ashford twins.
Yeah,
They're
which
being
don't come back later on. It's I believe it was just a reference to code uh Vic
Veronica.
Veronica, Code Veronica.
Yeah, it's like so jarring because it's all like, why are they showing the kids from that movie with fucking with Christopher Reeve in it? You know, you know the one where they got like psychic powers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like Birkin is in the video or whatever, and it shows the two creepy like albino twins, and and so there's also a book in the room, and Claire sees the book, looks through it, and then realizes that this is the room that she was going to be taken to when she was adopted by Birkin, and that Birkin had been running experiments on the orphanage, the children in the orphanage,
Mm-hmm.
and what is it called? And that she was about to be experimented on, but she was saved by Lisa Trevor. Um, and so she freaks out. She's like, "No!" Starts like attacking the book or something, like it's gonna do anything. And then like Leon's like tells her to shut up or something.
Yeah,
Um,
Leon's like, no. All right, so yeah.
yeah. And so it cuts to like it cuts to William Birkin, who's inside of a laboratory, him and his family, where William Birkin is trying to get the G virus out of there so him and his family can escape. Because clearly this like facility, they're here for a reason, and he gets the G virus, and then they're about to take off, and Wesker comes in through the fucking the back entrance that is connected to the mansion, the corridor that he went down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he tells Birkin, "Hey, give me that shit," and then Birkin's like, "Nah, bro," and and so like
I don't know why that's so funny. Yeah.
Birkin is like saying to Wesker, "You work for Umbrella, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I need money and stuff." And so what is it called? This, Birkin Birkin says, "No, I'm not gonna give this to you." And then Wesker shoots Birkin. Birkin's wife tries to shoot Wesker, and Wesker like headshots her, like first shot no scope. And she dies. Like literally, that was the entirety of her. She looked like Steve Perry, and she was in the background, and she existed, but she died.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though she's an important character in the second game. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um, so obviously cut for time, and Sherry tries to shoot Wesker, and then Wesker's like, "Give me the gun, kid. You know, I can
Much
do
too
bad
good for
things to you."
children.
Yeah, but the guns are much too good for children. I'm gonna put it in my mouth. Um, so and eat it. So then there's like a standoff for a second with him and Sherry, and then he gets shot off screen by Jill, who had followed him through Jill and Chris, who had both followed him through the corridor. And Jill obviously is in love with Wesker. They have like a little talk um, uh, right before Wesker dies. He explains that the Umbrella Corporation is about to nuke Raccoon City. Um,
Yep.
and that maybe he should have mentioned that earlier. And it's going to happen at 6 a.m. We found the reason why the movie keeps telling us the time if you're not a fan of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And so then so then Wesker dies right before Birkin was about to die. He injected himself with a vial of the G virus that he had in his hands when he got shot. And so
Yeah, like in the game, except that instead of getting shot by, Umbrella mercenary goons, he gets shot by.
Umbrella mercenary goon, basically.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Wesker. Um, so, what is it called? So we cut back for a second to Leon and Claire like coming out of the corridor from the orphanage to like a stock room or something like that. And the stock room looks kind of familiar. It's like under blue lighting. Um, that seems familiar. And then it cuts back to the laboratory as Claire and Chris are trying to talk to each other and figure out what the hell is going on here. And Birkin like wakes up and is like
He's like, wake up, Joe Birkin. Wake
What?
up, Joe Birkin. Right, so
Joe Birkin. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That guy's fat. So like William Birkin like gets up and like is like halfway transformed into the monster that he's eventually gonna become. Like he's got eyeballs coming out of his arm, and he's like for some reason taunting Chris. Like Chris did nothing to him, and he's like taunting Chris because I guess Chris was like a buddy of his while he was in. Well, he had a picture of him, right?
Yeah, he raised him.
In his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically raised him. And so Birkin is like, did you think you'd be part of my family, Chris? Haha, it wasn't that. I just had you around for some reason. I don't know. You were my, I don't know, pet. And so so Chris is trying to like escape from Birkin. Like a fight ensues, like where Chris tries to shoot Birkin. Like Jill, I think escapes with Sherry or something, but through like a little passageway outside of the laboratory. But Chris is too fat to get out through that little crawl space, and so he has to fight off Birkin, but Birkin gets the upper hand on him and is about to choke Chris to death with his strong hand, and is shot off screen, or is shot from off screen by Claire. So the corridor the stockroom that they were in was connected to the laboratory. So both the orphanage and the mansion were both connected to the laboratory. So they're like, what the fuck is going on? Is like, no time to explain. We need to go. The city's gonna be nuked. And so they leave through that little corridor or that little like passageway with the crawl space, and it leads to the train station. Hooray! For some reason, there was a train station. We had like this big fucking I guess in Resident Evil fashion, we had fucking an orphanage connected to a mansion, connected to a laboratory, it's connected to a fucking underground railroad. Shout outs to Harriet Tubman. And he like what is it called? So they get on it and they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And then Jill's all like, I know how to pilot a train. And so they like all go out and they're like, well, that was fun.
For some reason.
Yeah, and then another reason too. Another weird thing too is that for it's right now it's 5:59. The fucking place is gonna get nuked at 6. For some reason, the mansion starts collapsing in on itself. Like there's like a shot of like the fucking mansion from far away collapsing in on itself. No explanation to that, as far as I remember. Because nothing's been nuked yet. It's not time for it to be nuked. So why the fuck did the mansion collapse in on itself? For whatever the fuck reason that happened, I think maybe it was like an umbrella plan. Like they have a fucking push this button and the fucking mansion collapses.
Yeah.
Plan. So that happens, and because that happens, as they're trying to escape on the train, the power is cut to the train, and the train stops. So they're like, oh crap. So then like William Birkin is still alive, but he's more mutated now. He's mutated into a giant fucking tyrant monster that like jumps on the top of the train, rips off the top, and like starts attacking Claire, Chris, and Sherry.
Yeah.
And so they're being attacked. They try shooting at it, and then fucking William Birkin's all like, "This is my family" or something like that. And Chris is about to be killed again, and until like Leon comes out and he's got a fucking bazooka and shoots what's it called? William Birkin. Which, by the way, he looks like shit. His CGI looks like shit. Like it would look.
Oh no, it looks like a video game. Looks like a video game.
When he was, and not in a good way. Like he looked good when he was halfway, in the laboratory when he was like halfway transformed, but like now, that he's actually transformed, looks like garbage. Looks like a fucking shitty version of Venom.
Garbage, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets exploded by a fucking rocket launcher, by Leon. They're like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then like, and then Claire comes to the back and is like, "What the fuck happened back here?" And they're like, "Nothing." And they're like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then so like they start leaving. Um, the it cuts to like Raccoon City being nuked. There's like a cow in front of the fucking and it, like chewing the cud, outside of Raccoon City, and it gets blown
Chewing the
away by the
chud.
giant nuke. Yeah. Um, you darn chud, conservative, and um, and so like I guess they're fine. There's no like radiation or anything that would cause them any issues because they walk out of the exit of the tunnel to the train that the train was supposed to leave outside of a mountain, outside of the mountains of
Madness.
Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and that's basically the end of the movie. Um, what is it
Yeah,
called?
I mean, there
Uh,
was a no, there was like a post-credit stinger. It wasn't really a post-credit stinger, but
oh
it was a
yeah,
post-credit
roll
stinger for
credits.
us because we didn't pay attention last time we watched it.
Yeah, we watched the
We
movie.
watched it twice for you people out there.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it, honestly. But so like the you ungrateful pieces of shit. So then the what is it called? Uh, so then fucking is this William Birkin? Um,
Yes.
so then the post credit scene is like I guess they recovered Wesker from the fucking nuking. It's like a scene of a body bag, and then like it starts moving, and it's on a chair, and it starts moving, and then Wesker's in it, and then Wesker is like trying to breathe. He's like confused. He gets out of his chair and like starts running around. He's like completely naked and like moving around, and then he
Oh
like
shit.
he ends up in the corner of like the dingy room that he's in. Um,
Oh,
dude gave you a high five to your ass. Dude. He slapped your ass and killed you.
I
um,
know. That was the
so
slowest. Well, I guess we'll end it there.
yeah, hold on a sec. Hold on. Pro's death scene.
Yeah.
Um, Wesker comes out of the body bag, ends up in a corner, and then like from off screen, he's like, "Oh my eyes! I can't see anything." And from off screen, some sunglasses appear, like given to him by like a very delicate hand looking hand. And he's like, oh, he puts on the sunglasses, and then he's like, "What's going on?" He's all like, "It's," and then like he cut to like he looks up and he sees like this really gorgeous Asian lady. He's like, who are you? And she's like, "I'm Ada Wong, um, and I'm doing something." Anyway, enjoy this, nerds, and that's the end of the movie. Um, so Ada Wong was in the movie. He gave Wesker his sunglasses, and she recruited him to Raccoon City. Um, the movie fucking sucked. I give it a 4 out of 10 only because I like the bazooka scene and I like that they were so close to the original. That's the only thing I can say for the movie. I wouldn't say to go watch it or anything like that. So, Tony, what do you think?
I thought, I thought it sucked. I thought it was probably a shameless cash grab. You know, it wasn't they didn't try. Which is funny because they just shoot themselves in the foot again by by just being lazy and not trying. It's like, oh, this will be a quick cash grab, and I'm like, yeah, but it could have been a slow million making millions of dollars. You know?
Especially with the popularity of the series right now.
Yeah,
Um,
they just released like two games that were really well received.
yeah, and it's like, I maybe this was a cash grab. Maybe it was just like the fastest cash grab that they screwed it up. I mean, the original director wasn't even part of it, like because you said that he dropped off last minute. So um, maybe it could have been good. It could have been really good. It could have been like a decent, well thought out tribute to the video games and like something that people could have really sunk their teeth into. But yeah, they just completely fucked it up. And by the way, if this sounds kind of rushed at the very end, it's because the movie's like that. Like, if you guys forgot, like, when they get on the train, it's 5:59, and the place is gonna be nuked at 6 o'clock. The next day. So so them fighting Birkin and fucking Leon shooting him with the rocket and them walking out of the tunnel all happens in a minute because the place is completely nuked right after that.
Yeah.
So within the span of a minute, all this shit happened. So make of that what you will. Bad planning, bad writing, all that stuff. You can leave a few things out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's
And
it.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sorry, I know this one was like, this movie sucked, man. I don't know really what to say about it. This movie fucking sucked. You know?
You can skip it if you want. Just listen to our podcast like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
If you want, get us those things. Please, what is it called? Don't take. There wasn't much to work with here. Like, don't take this as like a thing because it's like pretty hard to work with this material.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess we'll end it at that.
All right, enough of
What's it
that.
called? Leon, give us all of your Aryan sperm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh. Nah.